This communication contains critical survival parameters for civilian populations operating within designation V1 territory. The following protocols have been compiled from documented survivor testimonies, emergency response data, and behavioral analysis of territorial control mechanisms. Adherence to these directives is not optional. Noncompliance results in administrative processing through undisclosed channels. The territorial authority structure exhibits patterns of systematic behavioral modification through environmental pressure applications. Civilian populations must understand that normal social contracts have been suspended indefinitely. The following rules constitute your operational framework for continued existence within this jurisdiction. Rule number 1. Maintain absolute silence regarding food acquisition activities. The territorial authority monitors all nutritional discussions through embedded surveillance networks. When discussing sustenance, refer only to standard rations or approved allocations. Never specify quantities, quality, or sources. Civilians observed deviating from approved nutritional terminology have experienced immediate residential relocation to undisclosed facilities. Documentation indicates these facilities operate under alternative administrative protocols. Rule number 2. Restrict all movement activities to predetermined corridor zones between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The territorial authority maintains automated monitoring systems that register civilian positioning data continuously. Movement outside designated temporal windows triggers immediate intervention protocols. Survivors report that intervention teams arrive within 7 to 12 minutes of detection. These teams implement what they term corridor compliance procedures. The exact nature of these procedures remains classified, but returning civilians demonstrate significant behavioral modifications and memory inconsistencies. Rule number 3. Eliminate all references to previous governmental structures or alternative administrative models from your communication patterns. The territorial authority has implemented comprehensive linguistic monitoring systems that detect unauthorized political terminology. Conversations containing forbidden linguistic markers result in what officials term educational calibration sessions. These sessions occur in specialized facilities designed for cognitive restructuring. Duration varies based on the severity of linguistic violations. Some participants require extended calibration periods lasting several months. Rule number 4. Submit to all identification verification procedures without resistance or inquiry. The territorial authority has established randomized checkpoint systems throughout civilian zones. These checkpoints operate on unpredictable schedules designed to maintain population compliance levels. Civilians must carry approved documentation at all times and present it immediately upon request. Questioning the necessity or frequency of verification procedures constitutes administrative noncompliance. Noncompliant individuals undergo immediate transportation to processing centers where they receive what officials describe as civic responsibility enhancement protocols. Rule number 5. Report all instances of unauthorized gatherings or collective activities to designated monitoring stations within 24 hours of observation. The territorial authority has classified any assembly of 3 or more civilians as potentially subversive unless pre-approved through official channels. This includes family gatherings, religious observances, educational activities, and social interactions. Monitoring stations operate continuously and maintain response teams for immediate deployment. Failure to report unauthorized assemblies results in collective punishment protocols affecting entire residential zones. Rule number 6. Avoid all forms of international communication or information exchange. The territorial authority has implemented comprehensive communication barriers designed to prevent unauthorized data transmission beyond territorial boundaries. This includes telephone communications, electronic messaging, postal services, and informal information networks. Civilians attempting to breach communication barriers trigger automated response systems. These systems initiate immediate containment procedures followed by intensive interrogation protocols. The duration and intensity of these protocols depend on the assessed threat level of the communication attempt. Rule number 7. Accept all employment reassignments without negotiation or delay. The territorial authority maintains complete oversight of civilian economic activities and can reassign individuals to alternative positions based on administrative requirements. These reassignments may involve relocation to different geographical zones, extended working periods, or specialized task assignments. Questioning the logic or necessity of employment reassignments constitutes economic insubordination. Such behavior results in enrollment in what officials call productive citizenship programs, which operate in isolated facilities under intensive supervision protocols. Rule number 8. Maintain approved emotional expression levels during all public interactions. The territorial authority has established behavioral monitoring systems that assess civilian emotional states through observation protocols. Excessive displays of negative emotions, unauthorized celebrations, or inappropriate social responses trigger psychological evaluation procedures. These evaluations determine whether civilians require therapeutic intervention through specialized programs. The therapeutic interventions involve pharmaceutical protocols, cognitive modification sessions, and supervised behavioral training conducted in controlled environments. The implementation of these survival rules reflects documented patterns of territorial control mechanisms observed across multiple civilian zones. Compliance ensures continued access to basic services, including residential allocation, nutritional distributions, medical interventions, and transportation permissions. Noncompliance initiates administrative processing through alternative channels that operate outside normal civilian oversight. Emergency services remain available through approved communication channels, but response times may vary based on the nature of the request and the compliance history of the requesting individual. Medical emergencies receive priority processing, followed by infrastructure failures and security concerns. All emergency communications undergo evaluation protocols to determine authenticity and appropriate response levels. The territorial authority maintains that these protocols serve essential security functions and protect civilian populations from destabilizing influences. Official communications emphasize that current restrictions represent temporary measures designed to maintain social stability during transitional periods. However, analysis of historical implementation patterns suggests indefinite continuation of these control mechanisms. Civilian populations must understand that adaptation represents the optimal survival strategy. Resistance activities trigger escalated response protocols that affect not only the resistant individual, but also associated family units and social networks. The territorial authority maintains comprehensive databases tracking all social connections and can implement collective consequences based on the actions of individual civilians. These survival protocols have been validated through extensive observation of civilian populations operating under similar territorial control systems. Deviation from established patterns consistently results in negative outcomes for affected individuals and their associated social networks. Compliance, while psychologically challenging, provides the highest probability of continued existence within the current administrative framework. Remember that normal social contracts have been suspended. Previous expectations regarding individual rights, collective organization, and governmental accountability no longer apply within this territorial jurisdiction. The survival rules outlined above represent the functional reality of civilian existence under current conditions. Implementation begins immediately upon receipt of this communication. Questions regarding interpretation or application of these protocols should be directed to designated monitoring stations. However, be aware that excessive inquiries may be interpreted as resistance behavior and processed accordingly.